I envisioned a story, and like the author said in the previous interview, we have our traumas, but it depends on how you turn your traumas into either you live through it or you turned it into a victory. And so
Right.
I didn't want to live through the trauma and be, oh, woe is me. I wanted to create a story that helped me to heal. And so I was told, that the soldiers, they just had one night stands and that was it. But I did some research, like the author says, you have to find the truth.
Any further ado, I am going to bring on our next guest. This is my girl, my friend. We've known each other for quite some time, but this is her first time on the show, I think. Miss Saran Bynum. How is this your first time on my show?
I think it is. Can you hear me? Yes, it is.
Oh my goodness. I mean, we've known each other for a little minute now,
Oh
and we've
yeah,
done a lot of work together.
yes, we have.
So for
Thank you,
those of
Dr.
you,
Lawson, for having me on
thank
the show.
you. Thank you. For those of you who don't know, Saran, you're about to find out what a powerhouse that we have on the show right now. But for those of you who don't know, I've produced two stage plays. I turned two of my books into stage plays, and I produced them myself. But I always hire a director. So when I put my book Twilight on the stage, I hired this lovely young lady to be the director of the play. But the year before, she was also one of the models and one of the choreographers for the fashion show that we did for Black History Month Literary Weekend. And that's really how we kind of met each other, because we met each other prior to that. But when we started working together is when we got a lot closer, and we've been working together ever since.
Yes, yes. It's just been a blessing to be able to work alongside of you. But I've always admired your tenacity to work in the community and to, inspire people through your literary works and to uplift other people through their works. So I'm giving you flowers. You're amazing. Thank you.
Oh, you are amazing too. We can give each other flowers all because you did an amazing job with my play. And then not long after the play, you decided that you were going to produce your movie. And
Yeah.
you did a wonderful job with that movie. And it was actually based on a true story. So I told at the beginning of the show, I said that you were an Operation Baby Lift survivor. And there may be people out there who don't know what that is. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh, of course. We literally just we're on the cuff of the 50th anniversary of the fall of Saigon, and the history goes way back in Vietnam during the Vietnam War, and it last. This is like in history the longest war ever that involved the American soldiers and foreign land, and it ended April 30th. 1975, and during that time it was very tumultuous because like here, the Vietnamese communities in Vietnam, they lived a normal life. Everything was, was great. But then Vietnam was invaded by the North. The North, so we have Vietnam is divided from the North to the South. So Viet Cong wanted to come down to the South and take over, and they wanted to change the governing laws to communist. So unfortunately, it was a traumatic time for everyone. Uh, People literally tried to escape during those last days. If you are familiar with the photo of the Vietnamese locals, they're climbing up the embassy wall and they're trying to get into a helicopter. That's the most prominent picture in history. And literally, people were taking their bags. Some didn't even have bags and running out of Vietnam, and there were different ways that they escaped. A lot of the evacuees escaped by boat and plane if they were lucky enough. And they were on the ocean for like 10 days on out. And then luckily they landed in other neighboring soils. Um, and those neighboring soils were able to bring them in and bring into refugee camps. and then a lot of families were sponsored by people here in America. So a lot of the families came to American soil and they started their life here. In my case, I was a baby, so I didn't have any family. A lot of the American soldiers, they lived literally were in Vietnam for years on out, and they were 18, 19 years old. So they have formed relationships with the Vietnamese women, and a lot of us were born out of that time, and a lot of us were abandoned. And so God, saw fit that He brought me out of that turmoil, and it was an operation called Operation Baby Lift, where the cargo planes were called by the president, which was President Ford at the time, to airlift a lot of the babies out of Vietnam, and we were literally shipped to Australia, parts of Europe, America. So I came to America. So here I am.
You better
Yes.
speak. That is so awesome. And it just so happened that you wound up getting adopted by a wonderful family who
Yes.
raised you in New Orleans.
Mhm.
So you
Yes.
are a
Of all
true New
places,
Orleans girl.
in New Orleans. Yes. Yes. God is, I mean, I can't thank God enough for putting me with the family who has so much love. They're so giving. They're so respected in the community, and they've passed on a legacy that I hope that I could pass on to other people, and that's to preserve history and to tell our stories.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Now, I know we're supposed to be talking about the play, but I would be remiss because it seemed like your journey started when you decided to look for your family, and you
Yes.
actually had
Mhm.
a chance to meet your family.
I did. I did. They live in Memphis, Tennessee, which is what, 8 hours away. It's not far. And
Yeah, well, let me
yeah,
I just want to back up a little bit.
sure.
Let me let me just clarify. So you had your adoptive family in New
Mhm.
Orleans, but you actually met your father, your birth father.
Yes, yes, through ancestry.com. I took the test years ago, and literally about now 4 years, I decided to look up one of the cousins, because when you have ancestry.com, they come up with 200 cousins. You're like, what am I going to do with that? So I found one cousin, Andrea, and I sent her an email. I said, hey, I'm Saran. I live in New Orleans. Do you have any family who was in the military? And she responded, and I'm like, oh my God, okay. And she helped me. She said she loves doing genealogy, and she has four uncles that were in the military, or three, I'm not sure, but one was in the army, one was in the Air Force, and the other one may have been in the Marines, I'm not sure. But the one in the army, she said, does have a son. And so she contacted the son and said, hey, can you take a DNA test? Because I have this, I'm talking to this girl and she may be our cousin. And I'm nervous. I'm like, oh my God, this is, I don't know. I don't know. This is, I can't believe this is happening. And finally I'm at work and I get a call, and Andrea says he took the test, and his name is Torbion. That's my cousin Toby. I call him Toby. And so Toby called. He had my number, and he called me. And I'm on set, and I'm working. I'm like, hello, and he's like, hey, guess what? I'm your brother. And I screamed, and I'm like on this quiet set, and I'm like, ah! And everybody's looking at me. I'm like, oh, that's
Oh
not my brother. And I mean, that day I'll never forget. Just to hear his voice saying that I'm your brother. I called my dad,
wow.
my mother, and my dad. He's like, wow, I'll be darned. He found you, your biological father's family. Unfortunately, my biological father, he passed away in 2016. So I didn't
Oh,
get
okay.
to meet him, but he has a big
You got the
family.
family.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
So
yes,
you actually the movie that you produced, you
yes,
wrote and produced, that was
yes.
based on that experience, wasn't it?
So to work backwards, I wrote that movie years ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I wrote that movie, oh God, what, in 2006, 7? eight. I
Okay.
think it was 2007 at the cuff of when I came back from Katrina, and so I envisioned a story, and like the author said in the previous interview, we have our traumas, but it depends on how you turn your traumas into either you live through it or you turn it into a victory. And so
Right.
I didn't want to live through the trauma and be, oh, what was me? I wanted to create a story that helped me to heal. And so I was told, that the soldiers, they just had one night stands and that was it. But I did some research, like the author says, you have to find the truth. And I found out the soldiers did have relationships. So I imagined my birth father having a relationship with my biological mother. And so I started writing this story of me finding him. And now, and I did the movie, I did the whole Hollywood style, hired a DP, a director, KJ, you're awesome, Charles Gillivet. I had the whole cast. I did an audition, had great cast, Larry McGee, Nicole Lovins, they both were the main cast with all of the other. I mean, it was like, whoa, girl, you did this. So it was a full feature film. Fast forward
Mhm.
now, that movie, people are saying was a premonition of what happened like four
Yeah,
years
that's the reason why I thought that the movie was based on your experience because the movie was released after you found your birth
ago.
family.
Yeah, no, it was I wrote it first,
Yeah, but it
imagining
was
what
released.
happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. I'm like, all of you. This really was a premonition for you, Saran.
Yes, it was, and unfortunately, he passed away of cancer too. And in the movie, I had my father pass away of cancer. So
Wow.
it was a dedication to him, even though I never met him. But I wanted to have a form of relationship in the movie world where I've met him and was able to take care of him,
Yeah.
and to know that my uncles, now my biological uncles, they told me he knew he had a child across seas. So that added to my healing, like, oh, he didn't know about me and he wanted to
Oh,
find
that's
me. So
beautiful.
yeah, it's a process, but I'm healing as I go, you know. Yes. And my
Yes.
my father and my mother now, they're very supportive. Very,
That,
yeah.
and that's great that they supported you just wanting to find out who you were.
Yes. Yes.
That's beautiful. I appreciate it. We continue to grow the YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed yet, we are this close to monetizing. We're this close, and we need you guys. We need you. So if you have not subscribed to the Meet the World Image Solutions YouTube page, now is the time to do it. We only need like a little over 30 subscribers to hit that 1,000 mark. So go ahead, subscribe to us, and then share the page so other people can subscribe. Because the more we're able to grow this page, the more service we can be to the authors who come on the show. So I'm looking forward to you guys being a big part of that.